Hello, you're watching BTV News for the latest updates on Vietnam. My name is Linh Hương and here come our headlines. National Assembly deputies discuss the draft law on protection, care and education of children. The 7th EC International Conference opened in the southern city of Vũng Tàu on Monday. First up, Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak announced the adoption of the Declaration on the Establishment of the ASEAN Community and the Kuala Lumpur Declaration on ASEAN 2025 at a press conference after the closing ceremony of the 27th ASEAN Summit and related summits on November 23rd. More in the following.
Speaking at the press conference, the Malaysian Prime Minister said the 27th ASEAN Summit had been a success. The most significant achievement of the summit was the adoption of the Declaration on the Establishment of the ASEAN Community and the Kuala Lumpur Declaration on ASEAN 2025. In addition, ASEAN ministers also agreed on 60 documents, some of which have been signed and adopted, such as the ASEAN Convention Against Human Trafficking and the blueprints for the ASEAN community.
This summit will go down in history as probably the most significant summit since the inception of ASEAN in 1967.
At the press conference, the Malaysian Prime Minister also discussed on three main concerns in the region, which are terrorism, climate change, and tensions in the East Sea.
South China Sea must be tackled or must be handled in a way that doesn't raise tension in that region. It has to be based on UNCLOS, international law.
The Malaysian Prime Minister highlighted the importance for ASEAN to continue efforts to overcome challenges through enhanced internal cooperation and also with external partners. He expressed the hope that ASEAN continues to develop into a community that is more dynamic based on the principles that have shaped the region.
In other news, National Assembly deputies this morning discussed the draft law on protection, care and education of children. One of the major points discussed were the extension of the definition of children to include people aged below 18 compared to the current age of 16 stipulated in law. This amendment is in accordance with the International Convention of Children's Rights and Vietnam's laws and regulations pertaining to adulthood, completion of general education, and physical and mental readiness to integrate into society. However, several deputies argued that this amendment would increase the number of illegal marriages and affect criminal cases where several crimes involved perpetrators aged below 18. According to the 2015 ASEAN Investment Report, the bloc attracted $136.2 billion of foreign direct investment last year, marking the third consecutive year of FDI growth. The increase in FDI was even more significant in the context of global FDI inflows declining by 16% and uneven economic growth across the globe. In 2014, ASEAN attracted the highest FDI in the world. The improvements in the regional investment environment, as well as the integration process towards the ASEAN Economic Community, have contributed to the increase of FDI inflows into the bloc. According to the report, investment within the bloc reached $24.4 billion in 2014, up 26% from the previous year. The use of pesticides is a big issue in Vietnam's coffee sector. Many consumers are concerned about where they can find clean coffee, but a new clean coffee production model in the northern part of the Central Highlands seems to give the answer. We have more in the following.
It's time to harvest coffee, but Hazui is in no hurry. He has a new method of producing coffee in a more sustainable way. He waits until 95% of the coffee has ripened. He has learned this new method in a local class.
Before joining the coffee cooperation program, I still used herbicide due to my lack of awareness about its harm. However, now I know it is strictly forbidden. Our group follow World Fair Trade Organization guidelines. The clean coffee standards are very clear. We are not allowed to use herbicides. When collecting the coffee, they will check the smell of the soil and the coffee beans. If they detect a strange smell or the use of non-organic fertilizers, they won't buy it.
According to project head Tak Ngọc Quang, 49 members of the co-op are growing coffee over 70 hectares. For the past 3 years, they have strictly followed the new approach to coffee growing. And it's not only farmers, but also the local community that can benefit from the new approach as well. When buying each kilo of coffee, importers have to spend 50 cents on social investment. This money will be handed to the cooperative to reinvest in the coffee plantation and improved welfare for the community.
Exotic Vietnam is an intriguing blend of many charms. This land is where all manner of stunning landscapes await like a visual feast, rivaled only by the beauty of its people and their abundantly rich tradition and culture. Here is where you can relive the past in richest color or live it up in the bright lights of the big city. With so much more to offer, Vietnam is simply unforgettable.
Welcome back to VTV News for the latest updates on Vietnam. The body of the last victim from last Wednesday's tunnel collapse in Tân Lạc district in the northern province of Hòa Bình has been found. The body was discovered at 3 a.m. this morning, and the victim has been confirmed as Bùi Văn Quý from Hòa Bình province. He was located 700 meters from the tunnel entrance and 16 meters from the second victim, who was brought out on the 21st of November. The discovery of the last body concludes the 5-day search, and nearly 200 people took part in the rescue operations despite terrible weather. The East Sea has not experienced heavy storms, but dangerous undercurrents still swirl beneath its surface. This is according to participants at the 7th East Sea International Conference, which opened in the southern city of Vũng Tàu on Monday. The event drew the participation of over 150 Vietnamese and international academics and officials. The illegal building of artificial island has taken center stage as researchers to the 7th East Sea International Conference reviewed a recent development in the East Sea and discussed the possibilities of promoting greater regional cooperation.
The strongest undercurrent in the past years has been changes to the status quo in the East Sea through illegal building of artificial islands. Researchers are also concerned about the militarization of these islands or the use of these islands for purposes that could threaten peace and stability in the region. Vietnam and other countries have used peaceful measures to deal with this development.
Speakers to the event also discussed the East Sea situation in many different aspects, from politics, diplomacy, to rules of law, to identify opportunities and promote understanding and cooperation according to international law.
So you need effective rule of law, not just rule of law. And effective rule of law, effective norms, effective standards have to take on the serious disputes. And there are serious disputes. Nobody can resolve them. But we need mechanisms to say we agree on to help us tamp them down and work toward resolution over the longer term.
The event drew the participation of over 150 academics and officials from China, Denmark, the US, Australia, Canada, Japan, India, the Republic of Korea, and Vietnam.
Delegates to the event raised the point that the importance of the East Sea, also known as the South China Sea, to security and development in the region will only grow in time. But dreams of a stable and peaceful East Sea is still far-fetched. Therefore, the event creates an opportunity for participants to assess the current situation and discuss measures to maintain peace and stability to promote cooperation in the region. Hoàng Hằng, Vietnam Television, from Vũng Tàu City.
November 23rd is Vietnamese Cultural Heritage Day. To celebrate this day, cultural activities have been held across the nation. With over 4,000 years of history, Vietnam has 17 types of heritage recognized by UNESCO, including the former imperial capital of Hue. Vietnamese Cultural Heritage Day has been successfully celebrated for the past 10 years, and a ceremony to celebrate 70 years of UNESCO's formation will be held tonight at the Imperial Citadel at Thăng Long, a World Heritage Site in the middle of Hanoi. Local authorities in Hanoi Sunday Town are trying to get their old village of Đường Lâm to be recognized as a special national relic before submission of a dossier for UNESCO World Heritage recognition. The town expects to welcome 150,000 visitors, securing stable income for up to 15% of local households. Local residents are being encouraged to participate in tourism through ecotourism and agro-tourism services. The local authority is also working on relocating 150 households in the area. They will also actively invest in restoration work and raise funds to upgrade the village infrastructure. New tour guides are also being trained to improve sightseeing experiences for tourists, while new tours are being designed and implemented to cater to an increasing number of tourists. VTV News will now continue with the weather updates. And that's all we have for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for being with us. Feel free to log on to vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go. And for now, goodbye from Hanoi.